This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of class 4 and lower have been on the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all. This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of class 4 and government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services sanctioned by the U.S. government.
So there we have it, the first Purge. If you know me, you know 1, I like my Blumhouse movies, and 2, I definitely love this Purge franchise. They seem to do something that really not a lot of franchises can do. They seem to get better. And this one is no exception. The first Purge is a prequel. I know a lot of people thought they wrote themselves into a bind after the third one, Purge election year. But so we're now going back to where it all started, and this movie's pretty fantastic. The premise is that there's a scientist who never really gets a name, played by Marisa Tomei, is explaining to the government, well, if we give these people, lower class people in Staten Island, 12 hours to do almost anything they want, not only will it help society out because they'll get rid of the undesirables, the lower class citizens of the world, but it will give everyone else a chance to release their frustrations. And Marisa Tomei's character is the scientist, and she sells it to the government officials. The government officials don't know how to sell it to the rest of the U.S. So what they do is they want a controlled environment, so they choose Staten Island. Now, one of the glaring plot points in these Purge movies are like, why the hell would you stay here? Wouldn't you want to go away if you knew people were going to murder you, or there's a chance that you will be murdered within a 12-hour period? This movie addresses that. They give everyone $5,000 if you stay in Staten Island, and if you participate, you get more money. They vehemently sell this idea and this premise to people who live in projects, people who need the money. And yeah, we have a activist who is vehemently against the Purge, and we have our second main character, a male person by the name of Dimitri, who is definitely against it. Or he doesn't give a shit. He all he cares about is he's a drug dealer. He wants to make his money. And social commentary be said. This movie is anything but subtle. It has the subtlety of a sledgehammer right to the temple. And this is why I actually like this franchise, and this is why I really think a lot of the professional critics miss the idea. A lot of them think, oh, this is just a random reason to have violence take place on TV or in the movie theater. And it kind of is, but it isn't. It's heavy. All these movies, except for the first one, is heavy satire, and this one is no different. You have these characters who are either poor, live in poor neighborhoods, and are being told, we'll give you money to do this. And not without going into plot details, the level of interest between what's going on with the government, what's going on with Miss Marisa Tomei's character, and what's going on with our main characters, Dimitri and the girl in the movie, which is with Naya, is their former romantic partners who just are ended up on different sides, who will end up... Some of this stuff is kind of standard, but I will have to give a lot of credit to a lot of the acting. Some of it can be hammy. Dimitri, played by Y'lan Noel, is a really good action star. I didn't expect this. He's especially in the second half, or in the late half, when he starts to play the action hero, he's very die-hard-like. He holds his own, and that's pretty amazing. Naya, played by Lex Scott Davis, is also really convincing in her role, that she has to be, I'm an activist against the Purge, and I know why the government's doing it. They're taking advantage of the fact that we are lower class and we will stay here. There are characters in the movie who will literally state to the camera, I'm here because I need this money. If this movie didn't need to be any more on the nose than all of its commentary is. I think one of the major things that critics have against these movies is they don't see that the Purge can happen. I don't know what reality they live in, but in case you didn't know that they stated what was really going on in Purge Anarchy, this movie says it again, which isn't disappointing, but it is reassuring, but it also leaves you kind of unfulfilled because they've already told you what's going on in this world. And there is a good scene between the government representative and Marisa Tomei, where Marisa Tomei is just like, these people aren't acting the way we thought they were going to be. They're just either doing petty crimes, stealing shit, or just having parties in the middle of the street, or just literally fucking in the middle of the street. You know, everyone thought that they would revert into savages and just dog-eat-dog, but they don't. So that's when we get to the whole end of the movie, and I don't want to get into spoilers what happens, but if you've seen Purge Anarchy, at the end of that movie they kind of explained it, so if you see this one you know what's going on. But besides that, this movie is exactly what you think it's going to be. It has horror elements, there are jump scares, and you know, the premise alone is scary. When people are running out in the middle of the street and you have to go, you know, you're afraid of what's going to be behind every turn, and you don't know if someone is just going to brutalize you or just going to just mess with you and just be like, haha, bye. And this movie does that really well. There is the element of the government says, if you participate in the Purge, you'll get more money. They never specify a quantified amount, but what they do is they interact these people with contact lenses that have a really cool visual effect, because on screen you see them as blue and they're monitoring people. And it is a cool effect for this type of movie. There's also the fact that the second half, the movie is a lot of setup. I don't think any of it is boring. Some of the actors can be over the top. There's a specific character they call Skeletor throughout the whole movie, who is a little bit much. But anytime he comes into the movie, it is welcome. They do explain in this movie why people wear masks and the origins of that. And in a lesser movie, they would have took forever to explain the mask. This movie, it is literally 3 lines of dialogue on a newscast. And it's like, wow, that's really efficient storytelling. There also are scenes where brutal violence is happening. Not really a lot, more so in the second half. The strobe light effects in the last half of the movie didn't bother me, but the action was very visceral. There is a key scene at the end where the main character, Dimitri, is literally strangling a white guy. And while he's strangling him, the white guy's wearing a mask of the old blackface characters. Which is like, wow. That is so on the nose. And he's literally strangling him. And it's a very visceral scene. And then he pops off the mask. And it's literally just a white guy with blonde hair. As an action movie, this is really good. As social commentary, it's very current and very straight, direct, and it couldn't hit you in the face more if it tried. And it's a lot of fun. This movie felt short, and it is short. It's only an hour and 35 minutes. This movie is a Blumhouse production, and yeah, once again, they do movies that don't cost a lot of money, but don't look cheap. I love this movie. I give the first Purge an 8.5. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in it. We got to scare the hell out of some people in the movie theater because we were wearing masks like this. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Go out of your way to see it. I know it has. This is one of those film series where I can kind of understand why critics don't like it. None of these movies are certified fresh. They're all rotten. Because if you don't like the premise of The Purge, in case you didn't know, The Purge is a 12-hour period where, as you can tell from the announcement at the beginning, you can do whatever the hell you want, more or less. And I think a lot of critics don't go along with that idea and the fact that, oh, people will turn violent. But once again, if you saw Purge Anarchy and you watch this movie, there's an explanation for it. Go out of your way to see the first Purge. I currently own all of them, but the first one I didn't like. It was more of a home invasion movie. But I'm kind of turning around to watching it again. Did you see the first Purge? What did you think of it? What do you think of the ideas of this type of movie? And do you think the social commentary is either too on the nose or not realistic? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and until next time, bye.
During the Purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been